Hello and welcome! My name is Luigi from BlueStacks, and today I'll talk about the Hero Collector gacha game known as King's Raid. I'm gonna give you some tips on how to start with the right foot, so you can get the best hero there are in game and also the best gear they can use. So without any further ado, let's jump right in. King's Raid offer a very rich content to players by successfully combining multiple RPG mechanics, and now those mechanics are raised around the concept of building a powerful team of heroes that complement one another. That means the first thing you need to learn well is to build a good team of heroes. But don't worry, that's what I'm here for. The first thing we need to talk about are classes. Basically, all heroes in King's Raid belong to a class, and there's a total of 7 classes. But most importantly, each one of those can play a different role. So that means when you're building your team, you should consider these roles and not the classes. And every hero can choose one of 3 different roles. So first of all, let's start with the classic tank. Their health points are high and attack points are low. They can taunt enemies and make them attack only them. Now my personal favorite, the healer. Their health and attack points are very low, but surprise surprise, they have the ability to heal other heroes. And finally, the DPS, or damage per second. Their attack scores are high and health points are average. And they have only one task: kill the enemies as fast as possible. Your party should always have one tank, one healer and 2 DPS. But among the heroes you can choose to fill each role. There are some that are way better than others. And that brings us to the next step. Naturally, you want to know if any of the heroes you're stuck with from the very beginning of the game are any good. And it turns out half of them are actually pretty strong, while the other half, well, not so much. You see, Ryan Castle are good, but they are not that amazing. And sure, they are a viable option to start with. However, if you get any good replacement unit for their position, you should likely skip over those 2. So try not to invest too much on them. But now Frey, the started priestess, is one of the most overpowered units in the game. Her Blessing of Light Shield absorbs a ridiculous amount of damage, making her the single most powerful hero of the priest class. The Witch Cleo is another tremendously powerful unit you can get before the first hour of playing King's Raid. Her Fire Rain ability attacks all enemies with a ton of damage, and if she also happens to crit, her critical damage will benefit from 150% enhanced attack. With the right gear and team around her, Cleo hits like a truck. And now, the Elf Maiden Miriam is one of the core assassins you should collect and upgrade as soon as possible. And she has become one of the most popular heroes in King's Raid. We get her very early in the campaign storyline. And for now, she seems to be doing as much DPS as Cleo, although she has considerable more burst. Her target lock-on skill does insane amount of single target damage. So if you want to end things fast, she's your weapon of choice. And speaking of weapons, you want to equip your heroes with the best gear you possibly can, so they can perform very well in battle. So that brings us to the next step. One of the most requested questions when it comes to King's Raid is how to get ancient and heroic items. And the secret for that, it's quite simple. Just like any other adventure, you should do your quest. So if you have been progressing through the main story, you'll notice you get a ton of gold to spend. And it turns out you can use this gold to summon gear to your units. All you have to do is to click the daily scroll on the top left of the home screen. Then go to Equipment, General Summon and click on the one that has 10k gold on it. It will take a couple of tries to get what you need. But hey, it's an investment and it's totally worth it. Now, another way to get even better red gear is to progress through the main campaign. And it won't even take that long for you to get your first ancient item. Your first important piece comes when you finish the chapter 3 quest. The same holds true for the chapter 4 quest. And completing the 6th chapter will also reward you with no less than 3 legendary tier 6 pieces. Well, you see where this is going, right? You can get a ton of awesome gear by advancing in the story, and at the same time you get gold, which you can also spend to get even better gear. Now all you need to do is equip your heroes with the best gear, so you can obliterate every enemy on your path. King's Raid is one of those RPG gems that never fail to entertain. And the amount of heroes you can collect, it's simply unreal. Not to mention, the mechanics make it really worth playing. So if you want to give it a try and play on a big screen with a keyboard and mouse, make sure to use BlueStacks. But that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. See you in game. Bye bye.